I'm here with Dave, and this is the second power-up you guys have put on at the Science Museum, right?
Yeah, that's correct. It launched here last summer. Mm-hmm. We stopped off in Manchester earlier in the year, this summer, and we're back here during the October half term for its second visit to the Science Museum.
Yeah, and it's been sold out pretty much every day.
Every single day since the launch, yeah. We had some coverage, I think, on BBC Breakfast in the morning. They filmed live here, and ever since then, every day's been a sellout, a complete sellout.
How many different consoles and games have you actually got running?
There's exactly 180 consoles here.
180.
Games, it's impossible to say, because some of them might have hundreds of games built in.
Yeah.
What we tend to do, certainly with a lot of the older home computers, where 35 years ago you'd have to load from cassette. We fit them with memory cards, compact flash cards, SD cards, USB sticks, which allow us to choose from hundreds of games on each computer, and they load in seconds rather than minutes.
Absolutely. So retrofitted, so it's 180 stations, but thousands and thousands of games that people can choose to play while they're here.
That's correct. I'd say in terms of seats, obviously many of them are multiplayer.
Yes,
we've got micro machines, 3 over there on the PS1, that's 8 player, so 8 people can play that at a time. Our multiplayer cubes all accommodate 4 players at a time. That's games like Super Bomberman on the SNES, Mario Kart on the Nintendo 64, Virtua Tennis on the Dreamcast.
Classic games, classic games. What are your favourites that are here?
Oh, it's got to be the BBC computer, definitely. It's the one I had growing up. It's probably why, if you look around the event, you might see, there's a couple of Sinclair Spectrums, there's a Commodore 64, and then there's 12 BBC Micros. But no, to be fair, you can see the BBC Micros just behind us. They're very good for programming. We've got a couple of them set up where you can type. Have you seen the example listings? You can type in BASIC, you can make it generate pretty patterns, waveforms, play simple sound effects. The BBC computers are also very big in British education in the 80s. They were in about 80% of British schools. So we've got some classic educational games running on them, Pod and Granny's Garden. And we've also got what's very popular nowadays is on the homebrew scene, where people write brand new games for old platforms, such as the Spectrum.
There's such a movement now for indie games and retro games, and mobile phones kind of did it. They brought back the pixelated kind of graphics, and now it's just exploded again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the reasons why I think when we put out these retro games running on computers that kids have never seen before, they don't recognise the joysticks, the controllers, but give it a minute and they're straight into the game, because they've been playing very similar genres of games on their tablets, on their mobile phones.
Yeah, well, some games are just timeless. Something like Pong works for everyone ever. The simplest games are sometimes the best.
Well, you're right. I mean, Pong is a godsend here, because often we might get some grandparents coming in, we bring in the grandkids in, and they might say, "Oh, where's the cafe? We don't play games. We just want a coffee," and we're not having any of that. Nonsense.
This is for everyone.
Let's go and find the Pong machine for starters, and it's just a simple dial, 2 simple dials. You move left and right. And we've even got things like picture pairs and hangman. So again, earlier this afternoon, we had, I think, an aunt in who was pretty adamant she wasn't going to play any games. And here you go, here's hangman, and she's quite happy to sit playing hangman for half an hour on the BBC. So
and as well as the old consoles, you go all the way through right to I've seen Halo going on, I've seen VR going on, all the way up to modern day.
Yeah, I mean, it's often publicised as a retro gaming event, but that's probably not representative of what's behind us. We've got, perhaps, it's representing 40 years of gaming, so 60% of the consoles at least are from the 70s, the 80s and the 90s. But a good percentage of it are Xboxes. It's really more about good games, not the fact that they're old, that they're new. We just wanted to show off the very best of gaming. So, we've got the early consoles, the home computer era, 8 and 16-bit computers like the Amiga, the early Nintendo consoles, the full run of those, the Sega consoles, right through to virtual reality, PSVR. Rebellion have very kindly given us a Battlezone installation, and that's running in both retro mode and
awesome.
Modern mode, the updated mode.
And I've seen you've grouped things, so you can play a range of Mario games, from the original ones up to the 3D ones. And
yeah, that's right.
That's the way things are organised. You seem to have put things so people can see that evolution.
It's the collections, what we refer to them as. So we've got the rhythm games collection, the driving, the Mario collection, where we'll start off with, we tend to put them in chronological order. So you've got Super Mario Brothers on the NES, the first one.
Yeah, classic,
Super Mario,
classic game.
Mario World and All Stars on the SNES.
Yeah.
What's next? I should know this. Mario 64, I think. Yeah, Mario World 64 on the N64, right through the GameCube and Wii iterations. And we do the same, the same for the Sonic games, fighting games. So you can play, Tekken 7, Injustice 2 on PS4, as well as, classics like Street Fighter 2 Turbo on the SNES, and Marvel vs. Capcom on the Dreamcast, which is really popular.
Oh yeah, good. I remember wasting a lot of hours playing that game.
Well, people's eyes do light up when they see Marvel Capcom 2 running on the Dreamcast here, because that is a real classic game. Yeah.
And you've got some documentary footage as well accompanying some of the games.
Yeah, that's right. That's like the newest feature here this year that we're probably most proud of. It's called Play the Game, Hear the Story. Okay. And it's for classic computers and consoles, whereby you can just play a game and pop a headset on and listen to the developer or developers talking about the creation of the game while you play. I mean, we're not aware of it having been done at another museum before.
No, I've not seen that done before. It's a really intriguing way of learning about it, because these games often have wonderful stories and such a rich history.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, when we launched the event here last year, we obviously had lots of placards, lots of, you've seen the timeline would have information about each system. All of the games have sheets that tell you the controls, but also a little bit about the background of the game as well. But we did ask, some of the comments we got was the event would have been nice to tell more of the story of the British, games industry. So we think we're doing it in quite a novel way here by having, rather than adding more boards with printed information, you can just pop on a headset and actually watch.
Hear it from the horse's mouth. Hear it
absolutely. It's the dual screen setup, so you can just, it's ideal. A dad and his kid, a mother and a daughter can just pop a headset on. One can play, one can watch, and they can both listen. I mean, the games in question we've got are Manic Miner on a Sinclair Spectrum, from one of the earliest platform games. That's from 1982, and you can hear Matthew Smith talking about that. There's Elite on the BBC Micro, the seminal 3D space strategy game, and it's David Braben, who is a co-developer of Elite, talks about that. We've then got Lemmings on running on a classic Amiga.
Yes, that game caused so many arguments and shouting in my house. You've done it wrong, you've got to put a blocker there.
Yeah.
These games bring up so many emotions in people. They're our childhoods, and they're just such a wonderful way to explore them through this exhibition. Thank you very much for talking to us, and we hope to see you again next year.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll want to bring it back. They've had very good feedback again, and the museum have, and as you said, it's sold out again. So watch this space. Yeah.
Watch this space, guys. Thank you very much. It's lovely to meet you.
Right, cheers.